Hello everyone, I'm Yvonne, a children's librarian here at the Manchester City Library, and I want to welcome you to Elementary Experiments this winter. Here we are going to do experiments and activities aimed at elementary grades 1 through 6 with a focus on STEAM or science, technology, engineering, arts, or math. With school and winter breaks, we know that everyone has things to do, so we will continue to post 2 elementary experiments here online and then do them together on the last Tuesday of the month at 3:30 p.m. at the Manchester City Library. So if you want to join us in person, do please go to our website to register to make sure that we have enough supplies and crafts for everyone. So we are continuing to post here to share our crafts and activities with as many people as possible. But if you are in grades 1 through 6 and you like what you see, remember that we will be doing our monthly wrap-up in person on the last Tuesday of each month. So now that we have gotten all of that covered, let's get into this week's elementary experiments. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's elementary experiments. This week we are going to be looking at the Lunar New Year, which is the new year as calculated by the moon, hence lunar. This Lunar New Year is celebrated mostly by Asian countries, but of course it is celebrated all throughout the world. So I thought it would be fun to learn a little bit about some of the traditions and add a little bit of science into that learning. In the lunar calendar, every year is assigned one of 12 animals. And as of January 22nd, this year, 2023, will become the year of the rabbit. So if you have ever seen the zodiac cycle, some of these animals might be familiar to you. In order of the cycle, you start with the year of the rat, then the ox, then the tiger, then the rabbit, which is what we're in now, then the dragon, then the snake, then the horse, then the goat, then the year of the monkey, then the year of the rooster, the year of the dog, and the year of the pig, which covers all 12 animals. So if you want to figure out what year you were born in, I can give you a little challenge to do some math because the cycle is 12 years. So you can either try and figure it out that way, or you can count backwards with this year being the year of the rabbit. If you guys don't want to do all that work, I probably will show you guys the cycle on screen later. But it's something to think about. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready for our first activity. This is one that I may have shown you guys before, depending on how often you stop in at the Manchester City Library, but I think it's really fun. It goes really well with the Lunar New Year celebration, and as usual, it does have some cool science as well. So I'm gonna put up what you need on the screen, and then I will meet you back here so we can do it together. All right, so as you noticed, this is going to be some very simple materials. You can add some coloring materials to decorate your fireless firecrackers, but I just chose a piece of red paper. Partly because, red is associated with fire, but also because red is associated with good luck in many Asian cultures and in the Lunar New Year in general. So I'm going to have some red paper. And as mentioned, we are going to be making a fireless firecracker with the red paper. And part of that is because setting off fireworks is traditional on Lunar New Year. The sound of the popping and bangs is supposed to help scare bad luck away. So we are not allowed to light fires in the library. I've asked, we're definitely not allowed to. So we are going to do the fireless kind by making this paper cracker. And so you just need a regular sheet of paper. It does not have to be red, but it can be. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the paper and we are going to go ahead and fold it in half long ways. I always remember this as being the hot dog fold because it makes it look kind of like a hot dog bun. All right, I'm going to tilt you down so you can see this a little better. So we've got our hot dog fold, and we're going to unfold this, and we're going to fold this side back up to the line here. And then fold that up. So we've got this kind of double fold here. Now we are going to take this and we're going to fold it with the short ends together, or what I always remember as hamburger fold, because when you're done, it's more like a square, like a hamburger bun. You're going to want to make sure that this double fold is on the outside. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our fingers and we are going to pinch them on this corner. So this is the opening corner. And then we're going to take these fingers and we're going to lightly pinch on the spine edge, right where the extra folding is. And we're going to lightly pinch it because when we pull this way here, we want the spine here to slide, right? So we're going to pull like this until you see this mountain up here on this side. And then we're going to grab this corner, rotate, and then we are going to, let me move this. We are going to kind of do a throwing motion like this, a good snap, and hopefully that is going to make our cracking noise. Let's see how it goes. Whoop, nope. All right. And we can actually reset this. So this is very reusable. We just fold it back. So we're back to our double fold with the extra fold at the bottom. And to do it again, we just do the same thing. You pinch on the opening part, and then you pinch on the spine where the double layer is. You pull them until you see this little mountain. And so for the science part, what's happening is to get a sound, we basically need to have something vibrating or shaking so that the vibrations can go into our ear and register on our eardrum, and then our brain interprets the vibrations to make a sound. So how our cracker is vibrating, it's that when we throw the cracker, this these sort of loop shapes in here catch the air, and then the paper opens and snaps into this new position, and that causes the air to hit the paper like it was a drum. And this is like the drum head, and that makes the vibrations that we hear as that crack sound. So let's show that one more time. We've got our cracker ready. We've got fingers here, move, transfer so that it's ready to catch the air. And then there we go. All right, and this is where, if you guys want, you can decorate it If you can decorate it so that it shows the message after it has been thrown open, I think that's a cool challenge. I'm not going to show you how to do it. I'll let you guys try and figure out the best way to make that work. But I hope that you guys really enjoy playing with these fireless crackers, and I hope that you chase away all the bad luck so that this year will be great for you. Okay, so that was our activity. I'm going to gather what we need for our craft, and I will meet you back here. All right. So because we are going into the year of the rabbit, we decided that we would make some cool rabbit puppets for our craft today. So if you are in the Manchester area and you are in grades 1 through 6, you can definitely come by and pick up our craft kit. It's going to have almost everything you need to make your rabbit puppet, including our printout here. If you are not able to get our kit and you cannot get our printout, you can actually pretty easily draw up one of your own to make. I actually had a coworker here at the library make our bunny outlines for us. So think about how you would do that if you need to as we go through and show you how this works. Just to give you an idea of the finished product, so here is our bunny. We do have some really fun articulated or movable limbs. But the coolest part is that if I take this string and I pull, our bunny will jump and dance for us. There we go. And that is done by our string coordination in the back. I will go through obviously step by step on how to do this, but I wanted to give you a heads up so that you'll know that tying all these fiddly knots may in fact be worth it if you want your bunny to jump and dance for you. All right, so in our kit, we will have our instructions as usual. Then we will also have our printout that has our bunny and its limbs. We're also going to have 3 lengths of string. We're going to have 2 shorter and 1 longer piece of string. And finally, we are going to have 4 brads or split pins here, which are going to keep our limbs together with our rabbit and allow them to move. So, what you need to gather from home are going to be a pair of scissors, possibly some tape that can actually really help us thread our string through the holes. If you have a hole punch, that's going to be very handy. I did this one here using a hole punch. It makes the arms very easy to move. But if not, if you can find a sharp pencil, and if you need an adult to help you with the hole punching, especially if you don't have a hole punch and you need a sharp pencil to do this, definitely go ahead and ask for that help. Or even an older kid, anyone who feels safe enough to do this without getting hurt. Because our number 1 rule here is to be safe, and then to have fun, and then to learn some cool things. So, and then also make sure that you have some coloring materials, because even though I did our sample on some red paper, all of the kits actually have the bunny printed out on white paper, and white is actually considered unlucky in most Asian cultures. So we don't really want a white rabbit for our Lunar New Year dancing rabbit. In fact, some traditionally lucky colors for a rabbit may be pink, purple, or blue, and of course red. Well, unlucky rabbit colors are considered kind of maybe dark brown, dark yellow, and white. But of course, you can make your own look. So if you really want to have like a brown rabbit or anything like that, don't let me stifle your creativity. You do what you want. I'm just giving some possible guidelines. Okay, so that means that the first step is indeed to go ahead and color your rabbit. You can cut it out first, but I like to color before I cut out. That way I don't have to be too careful about going over the lines or getting markings on my drawing surface. So especially if you cut them out first and then color, make sure, like me, you have a tablecloth or something or another piece of paper underneath, because we want not to get in trouble as we do our fun craft. All right, so I'm gonna get some coloring done and I'll meet you back here when it's time to cut out. All right, so we've got everything colored, so I'm going to go through and cut all these pieces out, and then we are going to deal with the poking of the holes, which I think we should do together just to make sure that there's no confusion. All right. All right, now that we have everything cut out, here we have the hands and the feet, or the arms and the legs of our rabbit. And we do have these larger holes, and then we have a smaller hole. So the larger hole, if you have a hole punch, those are the ones you can go ahead and hole punch through. The smaller holes, we do want to be a little bit smaller, both because there's not a ton of room in between. You want to be careful. Try your best not to get too close to the edge, because we don't want it to rip through. Again, if you aren't comfortable with you doing it yourself, make sure to ask for help. Totally fine. But that's what we're going to punch through with our sharp pencil, and that is where the string is going to go through. So the large holes are where the brads or the split pins are going to go through, so the arms and legs can move. And then the small holes are where the yarn is going to go through, so that we can make them all move together by pulling the string. All right, let's see if I can do this all without a hole punch. Oh no, I might need an actual pencil. All right. So I did rip my arm a little bit. That's okay. That's what another thing tape is for. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and trim some of this from my large hole, because I want it to be able to move freely. So I'm going to repeat that. And I'm just going to do that for all of the limbs. All right, so on the body, I didn't actually put any guide holes for you guys, because I wanted you to be able to position your limbs. But so to help us, if you kind of look and see where you want your legs and arms to go, then you can go ahead and on the back, go ahead and sort of draw in that large circle so we can mark where we want to put our holes. I don't know if you guys can see that, the white is kind of reflecting, but we did mark these right here. And then we'll do the same with the arms. Okay, now I'm going to put a hole through where I marked them. Okay, we've got the holes in there. All right, so now if you are going to do the yarn so that it will dance, I think it's easier to go ahead and tie the yarn on before we attach the arms and legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our shorter threads and we're going to go ahead and thread it through one of our, let's start with the arms actually. So we're going to go ahead and thread it through the hole in one of the arms. And we're going to do it so that the knot is going to be on the back side. So we're going to start on the front and we're going to put it through to the back. Whoops. And like I said, you can go ahead and let's try this way. If we take a little bit of tape and we take our thread, and we have to roll the tape very tightly around our thread. And that can help us get the yarn through the paper. Another way to do it is to take like your sharp pencil and to kind of help push the thread through the hole. Here we go. And then I'm going to tie a knot on the back. I'm going to tie it close to the ends. Okay. Now I'm going to take the other arm and I'm going to do the same thing. So we have the same piece of string connected to one arm and we're going to connect it to the other, going from the front to the back. Okay, so we've got both our arms on here. And if you want, you can tie a knot on the very end just to keep it from sliding off. But I'm going to wait to tie my second knot until we get it attached to our bunny. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to take our split pin. We're going to line up the two big holes. Put that through here. On the back, we're going to open the pin. And because we want this to move, we're not going to like squish the pin too much. We want it to be a little bit loose so that we can have some movement in our arms. Going to repeat. All right. Okay, and then we have our yarn across the back. And we want to make sure our arms are in the down position when we tie our second knot. So the yarn is going across the shoulders with our arms down. And then we're going to tie the second knot. There we go. And we're basically going to do the same thing for the legs. All right, so we've got our second shorter string, so this one here. and we're going to put it through the front of our leg. I'm going to tie a knot in the back. Here we go. And then I'm going to put the second leg on. Got our two legs. Now we're going to attach them with our brad or our split pin. Okay. And I'm going to make sure the legs are pointing down. And I'm going to tie that knot. Okay, now we have our two strings running parallel to each other. So that means they don't cross each other. They just like a railroad track. And now we're going to take our long string. And first we're going to tie a knot in the middle of the string that goes across the shoulders and attaches to the arms. Okay, so we've got this knot here in the middle, and then we are going to, and this is the trickier part, so we're going to, with everything pointing down and everything kind of laying flat, then we're going to tie another knot in the middle of the string between the legs, and kind of in the middle of this string. So we're going to want to try and tie it as well as we can right here. If it's not perfect, it's okay, but it's going to work its best if it is kind of all lying flat when we tie this. Step one. All right, now here's the real test. We have all of the limbs pointing down, and we're just going to pull on the string and whoop. All right, so it does move. You can definitely tell because I poked the holes rather than punched them, the legs don't fall back down as nicely as it does with this one here. Right, and that has to do with like the friction and stuff that happens because of the rough edges that got pushed through, and how it catches on the brads. So it's still fun. It's just not quite as smooth. So if you do have a hole punch and you want all the limbs to fall back down, you definitely want to use that. Also remember that we do in-person elementary experiments on the last Tuesday of each month. So if you want to come in and make a dancing paper rabbit puppet, we will have some hole punches in the library that you can use to make it be a little bit smoother. But I still think it's worth doing, and it does. We did do the yarn on the back correctly. So that means I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the extra bits of yarn. All right. And then, of course, we do have our decorations. So I'm going to go ahead and glue on those. So here we had our staff member who drew the rabbit for me also did their very best to write the character for rabbit here, so that we can add it to our puppet. So Chinese uses characters, which usually indicate like a whole meaning of a word within a single character. So this one, with our best way of writing rabbits, it may not be perfect, but we definitely tried, and we thought it was a very nice addition to our puppet. Then our rabbit also is going to have a lantern and a flower for decoration. Both of these I did in some lucky red. And there we go. And you can add other decorations to your rabbit if you would like. And of course, be as creative as you want to be. And I hope you enjoy making this craft and playing with your rabbit puppet. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for the Lunar New Year elementary experiments. I hope that you enjoyed our activity and our craft. I want to remind everyone that this is our second video of the month, which means our next elementary experiments will be our in-person elementary experiments on the last Tuesday of this month, which in January is going to be the 31st. So if you come by the Manchester City Library on January 31st at 3:30, we will be doing all of the activities and the crafts that we did in this month's videos, the 2 videos that went up this month, in person. We might actually even have a couple of extras depending on what I can get together, including making a zodiac wheel. If you do want to try making a zodiac wheel on your own, I did promise you earlier in the video that I would put up an example on screen, so I am going to do that before our usual book recommendations and then the sneak peek for the first video up next month. But that is all that I have for you right now. I hope to see you again in person, if possible, on the 31st. If you do want to come, please go ahead and register just so that we can make sure that we have enough supplies for everyone. But if you cannot come in person or you are not in grades 1 through 6, then I will hopefully see you back here on the first Tuesday of next month for that next video. Until then, I'll say goodbye.